What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And tonight in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with a little bit of an experiment. I'm kind of doing the thing, like what if rotation had happened with regards to Selesnya Enchantments as an archetype. I had to, unfortunately, still just borrow a few bits and pieces from the old Kamigawa stuff, because it just works so well. But, and because, honestly, currently there is really no alternative. But I think in Ixalan, we can finally make a Selesnya Enchantments deck that's more focused on these auras, as we saw with the roll tokens and the printing of Calix and whatnot. That will finally be able to replace these Kamigawa cards, you know, by providing with a good 1 and 2 drop creatures. But for the moment, there's just really isn't anything. So a little bit of a crossover, but as little as I could, and trying to really see, you know, how would Selesnya Enchantments have looked had rotation happened. And we get to play a lot of sweet new cards. So I think without further ado, it's time to jump into tonight's brew. Selesnya Auras, and you might be able to tell from the deck box what one of the sweet new cards is, but we'll get to the Archon in a moment. So the cards I'm talking about that I had to borrow, of course, are the Visitor and the Kami. It's just really nothing else that you can play on 1 and 2 that is like, that makes any sense. There's nothing that says, like, you know, when enchantment enters the battlefield, because all of these, you know, auras that are rolls and other, they're not, you know, they're not being cast. So you're not going to be getting the free trigger on the Kami and the Generous Visitor, but of course we've got enough enchantments that doesn't really matter. I just think that it would be nice to see whether we can replace these two creatures with the coming set and see how this deck evolves. Because I do like enchantments as a enchantress, as an archetype. I've just at a point of heavy fatigue due to the you know, how much Selesnya Enchantments has been in the meta. Most notably, you'll notice I've taken away the Jukai Naturalist. There's really nothing much that we want the price reduced on, that, like, you know, everything just has one pip. Like, sure, casting a 1-man Ossification is nice, but our auras are one, you know, there's no colorless to discount. Casting a Calix for 2 mana, sure, like, it's not that crucial. So gone, and fully replaced with a Spellbook Vendor, which makes these rolls at the beginning of every combat. You can pay 1, attach a roll. Calix does trigger from enchantments entering the battlefield, so that's nice. You can see how it was supposed to start to work. And then going for the March of the Machine aura stuff in the Invasion of Theros, which cares about, you know, when it enters the battlefield, you can look. It's actually phenomenal. This is our card draw engine as well. When it enters the battlefield, you can search our library for an aura, god, or demigod. So we've got the one of Heliod in here that can be tutored up. Or, you know, usually it's Ossification or one of the auras that we need to pop off with our Calix. But then, most importantly, when it flips over into Ephara, the Ever-Sheltering, it's got this amazing ETB trigger. So whenever another enchantment enters the battlefield and you control, you draw a card. So, you know, with the Spellbook Vendor, every battle, you know, we get quite a few triggers. It's important to try and flip this as quickly as possible, which is why, you know, we needed to continue to have these two. If you just go turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, you can, you know, you can do it pretty quickly. You play the invasion when you have the creatures on board that will be able to flip it that turn, and then it's just phenomenal. Card draw engine, indestructible, life gain, amazing. And then, you know, once all of our creatures have some auras on them, if we haven't won the game already, we can slam down an Archon. And I'm still debating whether to have 2 and 2, because Heliod's also pretty good. But the Archon, when it enters the battlefield, it gives all of your... Oh no, it's a permanent effect, static effect. All of our creatures with auras on them gain base power and toughness 4/4 and have flying. So all of our creatures have, other than Heliod, have lower base power and toughness at 4/4, so they'll all get the buff, plus all the counters you've been putting on everything, and then flying, most importantly. Behaving very much like a Hallowed Haunting, same mana value, same mana cost, and, you know, doing a similar thing in a sense. At some point, you can play it, everything gets flying. swing in for the kill. But otherwise, yeah, that's really it. There's not much else I need to add. It's all pretty cookie cutter Selesnya Enchantment stuff. Otherwise, Ossification for removal, Seal from Existence for some removal. My one nod that might not be as commonly seen, and I'm still thinking we might end up doing like 4 and 2 here. Few BrewLabifications might happen on the fly, but the inclusion of Radiant Grace, I don't see many of these lists that run it. I think it's pretty damn nice against, you know, mono red. There's a few good, like mono white, all the other aggressively slanted creature decks in the format, or even, you know, more mid-rangey stuff. The opponent plays their shield red, they think they're finally going to have this like nice big blocker that'll be able to defend and then turn the game around the following turn. But if they have Radiant Restraints on them, then their creatures enter the battlefield tapped. And, you know, if it isn't a curse, you're getting the Vigilance and the +1 as well being a relevant, you know, card type with the Enchantment Aura. So it's just actually really nice. But that goes back even further than the Kamigawa stuff as far as, you know, rotation and whatnot. But otherwise, I've kept it pretty tidy. It's just the Radiant Grace, the Generous Visitor, and the Kami. Everything else is would have been here after rotation. And, oh, of course, the Overgrown Farmlands wouldn't have been here, and neither would have the Kamigawa lands. But yeah, no, we're getting a sweet new creature land for Selesnya in Ixalan, so stay tuned. But that is it as far as this brew tech. And now, let's jump into some games. Final day of the Mythic season. And then the grinding begins again. I'm hoping to try and grind into Mythic early next month because it's low season for me in Bali, not working too much, and my wife's away. So if I can get into Mythic before the new set drops, chef's kiss. I still need to find something that feels really good and fast, and I play well. Let's see. Chrissy NL. I may even, like, depending on what he plays. Okay. It's probably just, ooh. Okay. No cut down. I'll take it. I've been running into so much Liliana, it drives me up the wall. There's a go for the throat. Mono black is just nasty. Watch it be the Liliana on 3. Every freaking time. Oh, okay, maybe not. Now that he's revealed that. Bro, this is my 3rd match in a row with this deck. 1 now recording, and then I played 2 in testing. And I ran into Liliana on 3 in all 3 matches. It's just a little bit nuts. So now this deck also freaking has, you know, Tear Asunder. So I think Seal from Existence with the Ward 3 is better than the Ossification for this. And then we get down the Ossification now against Shelley. And anyways, probably got the Tear Asunder, but let's see. Not everybody runs it. It's sometimes just like a... This is obviously terrible for us because... You know why? Can't believe my luck with this Streamer's Curse, man. Now he just gets the shielded back. I think we can just pack it in, guys. The worst possible matchup. No, it has to be the Ossification. You can't target the Seal because you don't have the Ward 3. I hope he makes that error. That would be fantastic. Never say never. Fudge. Bro, oh my god. Just insanity. The games I had in testing have just been... I don't know how to even explain it. I guess he's gonna want to get back his... he'll just get his Liliana. No, okay. GG. Unbelievable. 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 And we just drew like 4 lands in a row on top of it. Primus Curse, everybody, look it up. Okay, so now you'll just have to take my word for it, but that's 3 games in a row, back to back, where I had Liliana played against me on turn 3. Let's see if now the algorithm will decide to give me something a little bit different. 3 back to back. It's those things that make you want to stop playing for the day, you know? Nah. Actually, all it makes me want to do is find a way to destroy that deck. It's just such a... You know, in any black-based thing now, you just go turn 1, cut down, turn 2, go for the throw, turn 3, Liliana, and it's like... Oh my god! How much, you know, unless you got like a hasty creature, Liliana's always a 2-for-1. It like kills one of your creatures and requires you to have removal right away. Please play a creature rather than killing my guy. On a red. Alright. Perfect target for an Ossification. Affirmative. Affirmative. Okay, Spellbook. One more removal spell in hand. But what I'd like is another land. Vendor. Yes, it doesn't trigger the Kami. But then the next turn, slam down an Archon and go to town. Let's see. Aha. Okay. So instead, we shall go. Oof. Meh. Now what we really want is another land, actually, because then we can Archon and pay for the vendor. But I don't think the vendor's going to stick around very long. Such a pity. Such a friendly-looking little human peasant over here. There's a little monkey on... but some of the details in the art on Magic. Poor vendor. Wow. Yes, yes. Why not? Oh, yes. Yes, yes. That's totally an acceptable top deck. Thank you very much. I don't think Mono can do 9 damage at this point. Finally, no turn 3 Liliana. So there's at least there's that. Did any of you, do any of my subscribers follow the Dota stuff? We've got the International that was running through the weekend. Super freaking sick. Gave me something to do because I wasn't recording because my microphone troubles. Yeah, you can't swing. Then let me at least show you my Archon. It's Badoosh. Badoosh. Oh, that feels so much better after that game one. Whew. That game one was just a stomp fest. Like, we just got trashed. Golgari midrange really showing why it's like one of the top tier decks right now. I feel like I was one of the very, early, when, right after early access, Dark Forest version 4. I got to Mythic last season with it. Like, just, like, I was very quick to call it. That Mosswood Dread Knight is just phenomenal, and I've always loved Terra Sunder, and just the, a few other key green cards that make the green deck, all the problems with the green deck just go away. Ooh, we get to check out the Radiant Race. We got a 1, 2, 3 with the Theros, so we can also flip it right away. I think I've done my math correctly. 1, 2, 3. No. Unless we find like an Audacity. Love the Vigilance. This could be a Pia deck, PNLR. These like Asian players are quite into it. If he goes for the removal now, like, then the Radiant Restraints goes onto him and his creature's ETB tapped, which is just epic. Alright. It's a big question now. I think we just need to do this first. Before it gets, I mean, it's still Lightning Strike, but I mean, there's so many things that these colors will be running. It's just usually on turn 2, they want to jam out something that'll like trigger the. Oh goodness! Ah, that's scary. Whew. Okay, now we're good. Now we're just so good. Like, good luck, matey. I think we can just pretty much go like this. And like call it a night. Turn 4, 9, 6. Flying Vigilance Trample. Yeah, Ash. Nice, mate. Oh, I like this type of deck, man. You guys know me. I love this type of deck. So, I mean, yeah. Go nuts. Do what you must. We take 6. Bye. Happy. Okay, cool, nice. Again, like, totally misreading the cards. Like, I fully thought it was going to be a PNLR deck. Turned out to be some sort of Boros Prowess type shenanigans, which I love. I still think Boros Humans is like, I just went down a little, if you guys saw me space cadetting there for a second. I was just remembering how good that Boros Burn deck was, and like, I really think there's something there. That's another just amazing hand. Uh-oh. This lives just plays like a turn 2, and we can go second Generous Visitor into Radiant on the one that's attacking. Bye-bye, Radiant Grace. Wap, wap, wap. That's so sad. And you'll have the... Nah. Top deck city, baby! Okay, like he doesn't have he doesn't have anything. We're off to a great start. Lord Skitter does not faze me one bit. You're about to get your ass handed to you, and we have the mana for the Archon. Oh, that is just nasty. Oh, baby. And he even knew the Archon was there, which is sad, because maybe he would have tried to... I don't know, no, he was dead. The trample. Pff, good luck, mate. All right, all right. And we're only 21 minutes in. The Generous Visitor is obviously just really good. I had a good scour. I want to... Okay, like, now that the games are going so fast, we can have a quick little interlude and talk about potential BrewLabifications. You know, if you go the sets that would have remained, alright? And you go, you know, turn 1, like a 1-drop, that's like enchantment or creature. That, like, makes any sort of sense in this deck. That would, like, gain any benefits from, you know, from the Spellbook Vendor's roll tokens entering the battlefield or whatever. They printed this thing, which, yes, does get +1/+1 until end of turn for each enchantment you control. But you gotta pay 3 for it, and then it's just... And you get this little scry action, but, like... That is nowhere even close to a Generous Visitor. Like, it's utter trash. You know... Nothing, no enchantment creatures, no creatures that care about enchantments. I really gave it my best try, and I could not come up with anything that could replace the Generous Visitor. And then in terms of Kami of Transience, there was some other cool, like, enchantment synergy stuff and roll stuff, but again, just not as good. So I'm afraid we're gonna have to wait until the next set. You know, yeah, there was like some okay auras, but you needed more creatures. Otherwise, you just end up relying on just the Vendor and the Calix. They get removed, your whole game plan falls apart. Yeah, it's you know, it wouldn't have been a good deck, which is honestly great because we needed a bit of a break from Selesnya Enchantments. So if rotation had happened, Selesnya Enchantments would have had like the beginnings of what was going to be a good deck. That just, for the moment, was missing some bits and pieces, and we would have had a meta without any Selesnya Enchantments for a few months. Until the next set drops, and then, you know, maybe we replace this 1 and 2 drop, and suddenly it becomes a really cool new deck with, like, more an aura focus. Now we've still got this overlap, and we get, you know, so I play against Selesnya Enchantments regularly, every single day on the ladder. Like, still plenty. Just Jukai Naturalist, the usual, you know, Michigo's Reign of Truth, yada, yada, yada. Man, there's this one of those new cards that transforms into a land in the new set. Basically acts like a Michiko's Reign of Truth, but like consistently. But it's in red. Oh, like a Boros Artifacts deck is really shaping up to look so good. There's that thing with the spinning blades. This one's a bit slower. We don't have the, you know, the card we want. But we do have the Vendor, and we haven't seen much of him in the games tonight, so let's see if he can survive on the battlefield for a turn. Aha! Note, you can have multiple auras, which just not multiple rolls. Do I need another one of those? Oosh. Okay. Pity. That's a nice pickup. You know, the other thing that could have been a Radiant Grace. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. It's clearly got the removal. No, okay. If he had it, he would have gone for it then, because now we get extra card draw. So, let's see. Now, the Ephara is invincible. Because we have 3 enchantments on the board. Oh, it's Rampy boy. It might be too slow. Did he find removal? Okay, brings back a Tali. That's not really that scary. But let's see what a Tali hits. Enters the battlefield tapped because of the Radiant Grace. From us, he gets a Vendor and he gets a Breach. What are the chances, man? The level of bollocks. Regardless. You know, bring on whatever. They're entering the battlefield tapped. This Radiant Restraints is going to win us the match. Yes, he gets one of our things. But I think we've just done it. Just in case, right? First of all, we're going to get card draw. One of my favorite things about the Ephara. And then now let's just do the math. So Calix's base power and toughness is 2/2. So now it'll become a 6/6. Plus 2 is an 8. 8 plus 6. It's not enough to win the match outright, but would still rather play the Archon than the Kami. So now I'm going to put my another aura on or should we get rid of Olivia? I think we need to get rid of Olivia. Okay. Gets a free cityscape leveler? No? Okay, good. Totally whiffs. Gets the breach. He can cast it? Okay. Super cool deck, actually. We just got, I mean, we're a little bit lucky. Didn't have the right removal pieces at the right time. I like this crazy kind of all over the place. But yeah, just the Calix having flying plus the Archon. That's GG. I guess he can -5 on the Archon. But the trample will still carry us through. Back into the 90th percentile, where I belong usually at the end of seasons. We've arrived at the 30-minute mark, guys. I think we can call it. Didn't get to see any of our, Therosian god. Old Calix there. Didn't come into play. I beg your pardon. Not Calix. Why is this name slipping my memory? It's one of my favorite cards from when we were last on Theros. Heliod. We didn't get to see any, too much Heliod action, but I think, yeah, I think we can all agree that there's something here. The flex spots, like the Radiant Grace, I mean, if probably just like either Skrelv or Surge of Salvation probably would be just my go-tos here. Just has another way of ensuring that Calix stays on the board, our Archon stays on the board, that sort of stuff. Otherwise, we got to see there in the last game how phenomenal it is when opponents' creatures come into play tapped. No matter where they're coming from, whether they cast or being reanimated, they're coming into play tapped. And that was definitely one of the reasons why we won that last match. But we definitely got to see the Archon in action. And Invasion of Theros on, and Ephara on the backside there in that final match. Super sick. So yeah, I like it. Let's see what Ixalan will bring us. For certain, the two Overgrown Farmlands here are going to go straight away to the new, I think it's called the something Prairie. Anyway, it's a fantastic new, I talked about it in one of the episodes of Spoiler Talk that I was able to put up. I think it's one of the better ones from the new ones that have come out. So I will immediately replace that, and then we'll see what else we get to replace maybe the Kami and the Generous Visitor. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be seeing you all in the next one with another fresh brew. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab signing out. Peace, y'all.